What the customer wants, the customer gets. And this is what they want. So about a few weeks ago, I sold another computer, and me and the customer got to talking, had some good conversation. That's one thing I enjoy about flipping computers, is that you meet some really cool people, get to learn about their computer experiences, their walks in life, all that good stuff. And he saw this that I had stacked away in the garage, and he says, "What's the deal with this?" And I said, "I got it about a year ago. I don't know if it works, don't know much about it. I've just kind of kept it until I decided what I was going to do with it." He says, "Hey, if you could get it working, put some Windows XP in it and a bunch of games that he used to play back in his day, he'll be happy," and he would buy it off of me. So I was like, all right, I'll see what we can do. And I did explain to him that, there is more advantages from kind of doing emulation through newer hardware, but he likes the size and he has the whole CRT monitor. So he says, "I want this, and I want to have a dedicated setup just for a computer like this." So I said, all right, let's go ahead and we'll give it a shot. And I figured I'd take you guys along for it. So let's see what we got. So this is the HP Compact. It's the D530 SFF, released back in 2003, and it did have a MATX version of it, in which it was easier to upgrade. You could put better graphics card or whatever you wanted to do with it. I've seen these more in the school systems and business class, and it came with a Pentium 4. Some came with the Celeron variants. I'm not sure which Pentium 4 it had. It has the whole hyper-threading, which, that's kind of nice. Uses DDR RAM up to 4 gigs of PC 2700. Now in the back, your typical I/O for that time period. You got your PS2 serial parallel port for your printers, Ethernet, 4 USB, sound, and your VGA. And one cool thing about it was it had this feature right over here, in which you could actually put a full-size graphics card. Some people put a sound card, just depending on it, and had a riser card, which I'll show you in just a sec. Now opening it up, just pop this, slide, comes right open. And inside, we're greeted with this. Got the whole DVD drive action, not sure of the speed or anything. Floppy drive, the classic. Got your blower style cooler, this weird thing, which I really don't know what that is. And then the whole riser card, which this thing's a pain in the butt to take out if I'm not mistaken, but I believe it was just pull this up, and then this just kind of, there we go. And there was your riser card. Had 2 PCI ports, not PCIe, just slot 1, slot 2. But you can actually put a PCI graphics card in here and get into some game action. Now the cool thing, well, maybe not the cool thing, but the money saving feature that HP did with this is that this motherboard is actually the same motherboard that's found in the MNTX ones. And actually, because the way it's actually built, you can actually take this and put it into a normal case. Why would you do that? I don't know. But for now, the SFF factor of it works pretty good. So you got your AGB card over here. So if you were going to buy one, so I'm not sure if they made one, but there's a low profile over here for the AGP card. So not sure. I'm sure they do. If they do, comment down below and let me know on that. So let's see what else we can get into with this. Now I'm wondering if it has a hard drive. So let's kind of pop these out. There we go. And I think if I pull this, and we don't have a hard drive, which is fine. I keep a couple of these. I got a couple of 80 and 160 gig ones, so that's fine. 4 channels, so you can put 1 gig of DDR memory up in here, up to 4 gigs. And the CPU, I don't know, let's pop it open and see what we got. I think this tab pops up, maybe. Like that one, yep, like that. All right. Copper heatsink, pretty beefy. Now I know it'd probably be easier just to look up the part number and the serial number to see exactly what we have, but this is more fun. Just trying to get some of that dried up old thermal paste out. Don't want it to get anywhere where it's not supposed to be. That's fine. There we go. And this is the 2.8 gigahertz Pentium 4. So it's not 3.2, but it does have more upgrade options in the future, but I doubt we'll be upgrading this thing too much. Now the memory, let's see what we have. This is 256 gigs of DDR400, PC 3200. So I was wrong. It's not PC 2700 you can max out. It's PC 3200. So we got 256 here. And more than likely, the other one's 256. same memory, HP brand. Alright, so let's put the cooler on. I think I'm going to just blow this off with the duster real quick. And I'm just going to try to fire it up and see what happens. And hopefully don't set the house on fire. Now typically I take these things apart, clean them thoroughly. A kind of quick inspection. Everything appears okay. Lots of wires. So I'm just going to blow it off with a duster. And then we'll try to fire it up. All right, good enough for the girls I hang out with. So next thing I want to do is put some power in, get a VGA cable, and let's see what she does. All right, safety first. Got a fire extinguisher handy, just in case. Let's go ahead and switch this to VGA. Let's see if I can figure this out. Nope, nope. There we go. And now let's hit the power button. Really? This thing had to go ahead and switch on me? Thanks. See what we got. Oh, it's doing something. It's reading the memory, 256 megs. And if I said gigs in the beginning of this video, I apologize. I've been doing that a lot with these older ones. It's not common to say megs anymore. So, you know, gigs. So this should have 512 megabytes of memory, RAM, however you want to call it. And it's sure taking a long time to check it. But, you know, it's got to be thorough. It's got to make sure, you know, things are working and happening. System options not set. Alright, CMOS checksum invalid, so the battery's probably dead. And we need to put a hard drive in this. So let's start working. Alright, CMOS battery is tucked away over here, so hopefully that comes out. There we go. So now I need a spinny dry thingamabobber, and I have this Western Digital Caviar SE 160 gigabytes. So let's see how this pops in. So I think I'm just going to remove this cable. Let's remove this too. Why not? And I think this might just slide in here. Which, you know, that'd be nice. Well, I mean, kind of holds it in place. Sometimes I gotta go a different direction. Now hopefully it's not one of those fancy screws that only work for it, so we might be okay. Now let's reinstall our sound cable, CD-ROM drive. Unfortunately, the person who took this apart left me this IDE cable, so you know that's nice. Cable's installed. Put back our floppy. Nice. So let's fire it up. I hear the hard drive. Let's press the delete button, or in this case F10 button 100 times, because if we press it once we won't get in the BIOS, but if we press it like 1,462 times it should get us in the BIOS. Skip the memory test by pressing escape. Gotta love the beeps. And let's press F1. Whoops, wrong button. Alright, F10. Will you just go into the BIOS already? That was weird. All right, 512, 2.8 gigahertz. And we need to set the boot. So let's go to the bootloader, CD-ROM drive, check. All right, so let's see if it boots for a DVD drive or CD-ROM drive, whatever you want to call it. I know I didn't set the time. We'll deal with that later. Or maybe there's another issue with this. But let's see if we can kind of get into the whole boot action. All right, here it's firing it up. It's doing something. This is always the fun part about old hardware. Just sit and wait. I'll come back when this thing has done something more than what it's done now. Well, problem number one, as to be expected. Yeah, the DVD drive or CD drive, whatever version it is not working too good. And that's typical with these old ones. The lens get dirty and other issues go on with it. So I know it's not the CD in the sense that I've used that CD for other older projects. So let's see if I have one lying around. All right, maybe I could just kind of pull it from here and just, the wires might be long enough, which that would be awesome. Got this one. It's a DVD, RW, all that good stuff. It's newer, it's 2007. I don't know if this works. I just kind of had it sitting around, so we're about to find out. Got our disc in. Just kind of go. Really need to fix that. It's getting kind of annoying. F1 to boot. She sounds like she's struggling a little bit. I mean, I just needed to install Windows. Now this thing does have USB support, so I might be able to get away with a bootable USB. Not sure, but I'll definitely find out if this don't work. Now this is a classic sound. Or it might be a bad sound. But so far we're getting a lot farther than before, so let's see how far this thing goes, and when I come back, hopefully we'll have Windows XP installed. So many hours later, and a bunch of cuss words, and yeah, this thing ain't working. It ain't working at all. I've tried changing CD-ROM drives, CDs, tried a couple of hard drives, memory, all that stuff, and yeah, this thing's not wanting to work. Let me show you what I found. So I should have taken a better look initially, and all the blue screens of death that I kept on getting was just various, everything going from hard drive to memory to CPU. I mean, just different things. And usually when you see like very inconsistent blue screens that's just going all over the place and not giving you one specific error, it's consistent with the motherboard dying. And in this case, that one's swole. That one's already started to leak, as you can see. Well, the GoPro don't do it justice. That one's also already kind of leaking out. That one's swole. So yeah, bad capacitors, which is typical for hardware of this vintage, and that's kind of the gamble that you take with it. Now typically what I would do is I would actually get the capacitors, which I actually have a whole bunch of capacitors, and swap them out. I've kind of done that with the whole Xbox and their plague of bad capacitors, but in this case I actually went up into the attic and I got two of these motherboards kind of brand new. Don't remember where I got them from, maybe eBay, maybe a surplus, I don't know. So I'll pop one of them in, get this thing running, and it should be good to go. And like I said in the beginning, I know it is a lot better and easier to kind of do emulation through newer hardware and all that jazz, but I mean, the customer likes this thing. He wants it for a Windows XP PC. If that's what he wants, that's what he gets, and that's just his preference. I mean, if you walk into his house, it looks like you're in the 2000s, so maybe he likes that vintage stuff. I don't know, but I mean, if that's what we want, we'll do. Like I said, I'm not going to charge like a ton for this or anything like that. I mean, this is just something as a favor because they've kind of spent bigger money with other builds and projects from me. So you treat your customers right, meet their needs, and do what they want to do, and they'll always be happy. Remember, money talks. So thanks for watching. Definitely comment down below, as I definitely enjoy you guys' opinions and the conversations that we get. It's a lot of times I learn a lot of new things, so definitely appreciate that information that you guys tend to share. And if you definitely like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.